natural essence of your being to be in your hair and visible. That was a little bit intense, but it's true. And you can keep the texture of your hair. I'll show some close-ups of my hair here, and you can keep the texture. I don't really palm roll. I've never really palm rolled down the length of my locks, so it looks kind of bumpy still, and I enjoy that look. So you can either choose to palm roll all the way down your locks and maintain it that way, or you can choose to not retwist or palm roll or do anything like that and just leave it how it is. Hey y'all, welcome back to Holistic Flow. I am your girl Lolo, and in today's video, first of all, hold up. Can we talk about my hair growth real quick? I know that was real impromptu, but I know y'all wondering how I get my hair this long. Well, I'm wondering the same thing. I can't really tell you, just watch my lock journey playlist. I'll put it right here. But anyways, in today's video, we're going to talk about how to start semi-freeform locks. One of the main questions that I get asked on this channel, aside from how I do my hair, is how would you start semi-freeform locks? What are the main ways to start semi-freeform locks? What is it? How do I maintain it? So I'll sort of answer all those questions in one. And there are a few different ways that you can start semi-freeform locks, as well as any type of locks that you already have. You can kind of turn them into semi-freeform locks, and I'll explain what that means later on in the video. So let's go ahead and get into it. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, so semi-freeform locks. Semi-freeform just explains a state of your locks, of your hair, when you're in between freeform and traditional locks. Traditional locks are traditionally maintained by either palm rolling or even crocheting the new growth into the lock or some type of method. And usually traditional locks are more cylindrical, they're more uniform, and they get maintained usually every 2 weeks to a month, maybe every other month. That's cutting it kind of short for traditional locks, but in that range. A loctician would probably say, get a retwist once a month or get a retwist every 2 weeks. And that would be speaking from a traditional lock standpoint. Now, semi-freeform locks is anything in between freeform and traditional. Freeform is just, you don't do any type of maintenance really, except for wash the hair. You don't have to do anything special to get freeform locks. You just don't comb your hair, you just don't detangle it. And so semi-freeform usually means that you maintain your locks, whether it's palm roll with retwisting, or you crochet your hair into your locks, or some other method. Like for me, I braid my hair into my locks, and you do that maybe every couple months or whatnot. So in this video, whatever type of locks that you have, this is just a way that the lock community describes semi-freeform locks. So number one, the first way that you can start semi-freeform locks, which I believe is the most popular way, is 2-strand twist. I started my locks with 2-strand twists, and I think it's a great method to start your locks. Number one, it just allows more versatility, and it allows your natural essence of your being to be in your hair and visible. That was a little bit intense, but it's true. And you can keep the texture of your hair. I'll show some close-ups of my hair here, and you can keep the texture. I don't really palm roll. I've never really palm rolled down the length of my locks, so it looks kind of bumpy still, and I enjoy that look. So you can either choose to palm roll all the way down your locks and maintain it that way, or you can choose to not retwist or palm roll or do anything like that and just leave it how it is, because any type of manipulation indicates that it is in fact semi-freeform locks. So that's the first way. The second way that you can start semi-freeform locks is by putting comb coils in. Now, all these ways that I'm going to talk about starting your locks, it's literally putting that style in. So whether you put the twists in or you put the comb coils in, you install them Either whether you go to a loctician or you can do it yourself. I did mine myself, but I started with 2 strand twists. Now comb coils, most people do go to a loctician for that because it's a little bit more of an intricate style, and when you go to the loctician, they'll use like a gel and they'll use a comb and just like flip the, it's on the flick of the wrist apparently, and then they turn your hair into a coil. It usually reflects the natural curl pattern or size of your curls, and then within that forms a lock. So comb coils usually look more uniform. They're more traditional looking. I guess it's easier to have round, cylindrical, even locks, meaning like they're even in size. And you can start semi-freeform locks with any lock count. It just depends on how big you want your locks to. The way that you would maintain comb coils and 2 strand twists would be the same. Again, you can either retwist or choose to get retwisted every couple of months, or braid your new growth into your locks like I do, and I have a video on that. Just see my lock journey playlist. Again, it's in the tab. Or you could do the crochet method, where you just take the new growth and then you crochet it into your locks. So there's multiple different methods of maintenance. If you want me to do a video on that, of the different ways to maintain semi-freeform locks, then I could do more in depth. Give me a thumbs up if you want that video. So the third way that you can start semi-freeform locks is literally to just put your hair in sections, and that's it. So you can put your hair in a parting system, such as diamond parts or brick layering parts or square, circle, I don't know, whatever parting system, and you can just section it off and then just leave your hair there. Now this usually works for kinkier hair textures, because if you per se like sectioned off your hair and you sectioned off this part and that part and that part, likely the sections aren't going to have anything to keep them together, so eventually they might just be freeform locks. And hey y'all, I just want to say a huge thank you first of all for being so supportive of my lock journey for the past couple of years, and because you're so supportive, I constantly want to support you all. A lot of you all struggle with finding the right maintenance routine, finding confidence in your journey, and also a community who wants to do the same. And because of that, I've decided to have a 5-day Crown of Confidence challenge to embody your highest self in your lock journey. And I created this challenge to help you boost your self-confidence, embrace your lock journey, and do it with an incredible community of like-minded individuals. The challenge starts Monday, September 25th and ends Friday, September 19th. Throughout, I will post and interact with y'all daily on YouTube and Instagram, and we'll explore self-acceptance, uniqueness, and there will be 2 winners who win a $100 gift card and a free copy of my mindfulness blueprint ebook. Here's how you enter. First, scan the QR code on the screen. Second, each day of the challenge that I post something. It could be an emoji or just vent your feelings. And then third, tag a friend who would love to participate in something like this on either Instagram or YouTube. So mark your calendar for this journey and opt into the challenge right here on the screen. That's okay. But the thing that differentiates freeform and semi-freeform is that semi-freeform is those locks are manipulated and maintained. So the difference would be that you would be doing your maintenance while your locks are maturing, if that makes sense. So you can just put them in the sections and then let them form naturally, and then you could start maintaining your roots, whatever you choose. And they usually start to mature toward the teenage phase, usually about 8 months in. I know mine's did. That's when it's like the peak frizz, right before it starts really maturing and solidifying down the entire, length of the locks. The fourth way that you can start semi-freeform locks is with a hair sponge. I included this one in the video, but I'm not a super fan of this way of starting locks, because this involves taking one of those hair sponges, that they use at like the barbershop when you get your fade or whatever in your lineup and whatnot. And then they sponge your hair and they rub it all around like this. And it makes this cool little design in your hair that looks kind of like Kodak Black. But I think that the sponging of the locks, well, first of all, the sponge is not a good material to have in afro textured hair, because I believe that it can incite breakage, it can agitate the strands, and it can also dry out the locks or the hair, because at this point you're starting locks, so you don't have locks yet. I think that doing it once won't hurt much. I've seen some cases where people started their locks with the sponge, and the sponge, the little pieces of sponge literally got caught inside the locks. So I've also seen it to where people started locks with a sponge and there was nothing, adverse that happens to the hair. So if you want to go that route, I think that you could try it and see how you like it. Maybe try to do the sponge method. If you've never done it before, try it and see how it looks first, and then you could try it again when you're actually ready to leave it in. And then they're already in sections. So we talked about sections before. You could put it in either in more natural sections, or you could put the sponge sections in it. And then the advantage to that is that it's already in, even, I would say, sections, because all those holes, they are even all the way around. So that is definitely something that I've seen work for multiple people, and if that resonates with you, then try it and see how it goes for you. Number 5 is instant locks. Instant locks is when you use a crochet tool. Usually it's a crochet needle, and you already have the hair sectioned off. I would definitely consult a loctician before doing this, or especially have a loctician install instant locks, because number 1, it's a long process, and number 2, you want to know what you're doing or have somebody who knows what they're doing before instant locking the hair, because it is exactly what it sounds like. It's an instant lock. So it ain't like you starting with some 2-strand twists and you gonna say, let me see how this 2-strand twist look. If they look ratchet, I'm gonna take them out tomorrow. Nah, you can't do that. So you need somebody that you trust. I wouldn't recommend doing it for yourself if you're doing it for the first time. And I would also just be mindful of doing your research before you get the instant locks on how many locks that you want, what the lock size is that you want, and also if you even want semi-freeform locks to begin with, because you can do semi-freeform locks with instant locks. The thing is, instant locks could look just like this. I could have gotten instant locks and they look, like this, I guess, sort of. Instant locks usually look a little bit more uniform and round, like traditional comb coil locks. However, they can be semi-freeform locks because they can be low maintenance. You don't have to retwist if you don't want to, even though you already have the locks in your head. There are advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are you already have locks, so if you don't want to go through the process of, the maturation phase and the frizz and all this stuff and wondering what they're going to look like, there is definitely an advantage in that. And then another one is you wouldn't have to worry so much about your hair changing into something that you don't know what it's going to look like. I guess the disadvantages would be that once you get the locks, even they might change and transform. You might immediately have to go into a state of, some people go into a state of, honestly, shock, because getting locks is it's usually a journey. It's usually a process of getting to know your hair, getting the products that you like, because they're going to be different than when you were loose natural, getting to know the type of styles that you can do with your locks, and just getting to learn your hair all together. So sometimes starting with those instant locks and then going a semi-freeform route, the semi-freeform route is usually less maintenance, and it's usually as well for those same spiritual reasons that I mentioned. So definitely highly consider, what is your why? Why are you getting locks? Why are you going on this journey? Because if your why is just that you don't want to do your hair anymore, then instant locks may be perfect for you. If you don't got no other reason, if you're not really spiritual, if you're not spiritual, I I wouldn't know if you would even be watching this video, because my channel is all about that. But you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It is what it is for you, because you're different than everybody else on this planet. So whatever it is for you is going to be unique, but just something to consider. Now, I do have a bonus for y'all. I do have a bonus way that you can start semi-freeform locks, and it's something that people don't usually talk about. But I met this one person who started locks like this, and I was like, whoa, I've never thought of that. If I actually were to do it over, actually, no, I wouldn't want to do it over, but I think in another life, I would probably try this, and it is a braid out or a twist out. See, the thing about braid outs or twist outs is I actually used to do braid outs and twist outs all the time. And I did used to use, you know, those wet line extreme gels, eco styler gels, and all the type of gels that I could get my hands on. And they're really good when you have loose natural hair, I think. But when you're starting locks, you want to be mindful of the type of hair products that you're putting in your hair. So I would not recommend putting all of that gel in a 2-strand twist out and then twisting it out and then locking it up, because that's a recipe for build up later on down the line. However, what I would try, or what I am, you know, encouraging to try, is that you have a shape that your hair is naturally gonna form to, like a twist out or braid out. That is a natural shape. Braids and twists, if you still want to have that crinkly look or that texture in your locks, it's a great way to start locks and have them in sections, and also have them uniform if you want all your locks to be a similar size or a similar shape, and also prevent them from being flat, honestly. Then a braid out or twist out would be the way to go. So yeah, that's the video. Let me know if you want a part 2 on different ways to maintain semi-freeform locks. But honestly, all of these ways of starting locks can go for traditional locks. There are a couple other ways that if we're talking about traditionally maintaining locks, you can also start with, you know, extensions and wicks and things like that. So let me know which one, if you've already started your lock journey, let me know in the comments which one you started with. If you haven't started your lock journey, what are you considering starting? Let me know in the comments down below, and give this video a thumbs up, give it a like. Stay subscribed to my video, because I'm always posting lock content, and I hope to see you in the next video. But until then, I'm sending peace your way, love your way, and joy to you, your family, and your friends. All right, y'all. Peace.